9 ERAs competing on the hill this weekend, making for a spectacular sight. ERA, English Racing Automobiles, was founded by racing driver Raymond Mays, born in Lincolnshire in 1933, to build cars to represent Britain against the mighty continental teams of the time. They fared extremely well in their classes, but they did have their quirks.
The car springs are very good as long as you don't go on the grass. In the first run-up in practice, I spent quite a considerable amount of time on the grass, which is very bumpy for a kart spring car. It's a bit like rushing off to the pub with a wheelbarrow and not quite sure which way it's going to go.
ERAs have a long history which attracts a loyal following.
A short story. I used to race in Ireland when I lived there. I had a little MG Special, and I used to do reasonably well in it. And one day I raced at the Phoenix Park, and these two cars came by me so quickly, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I'll never forget the feeling. And I said, one day I want one of those. And that was it. It's a 1.5 litre ERA, originally owned by Peter Whitehead, who raced it very successfully in the 30s. It's had 3 or 4 owners since. When I bought it about 10 years ago from a guy called Nick Mason. I think it's one of the most original ones out there.
The most recent ERA at the Chateau was the stunning E-Type, definitely showing continental influences from those pesky rivals.
It came out in 1938. I think ERAs were trying to come up with a more modern version of the C-Type and D-Type, because they're basically cart-sprung cars, and you basically sit on them, not in them. They always said that in the day, a bit like riding a horse. But the E-Type was more of a car you sit in, it's very low, and it was sort of a copy in a way of a Mercedes or a Union. It was had features of both of those cars in it. Originally it came out with a swing rear axle, which was a bit fashionable in the day. And that was problematic because the drivers always found that the rear end sort of stepped out and was a bit wobbly. They blamed the chassis, funny enough, and they said the chassis was moving. So they went back to the drawing board. But at the same time, I think they must have looked at the Mercedes and saw that they had these nice de Dion rear end rear suspensions, and they thought, oh, we'll have some of that. So they, at the same time, put the de Dion rear end on it. In '39 it came out with the de Dion and the Dr. Porsche front end, and well, the rest is history really. That's how it's been since.